We're going to further explore how to use the IODA dashboard by looking at a disruption of Ukraine's internet connectivity caused by a DDoS attack during the war between Russia and Ukraine in 2022. DDoS attacks stand for a distributed denial of service attack. It is a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of a targeted server, service, or network by overwhelming the target or its surrounding infrastructure with a flood of internet traffic. When an attack like this occurs, the network effect is essentially a shutdown. So on March 9th, 2022, we began to hear reports of a DDoS attack on one of Ukraine's largest internet operators, Triolin. Triolin, in fact, posted a message on Telegram letting their customers know of the second DDoS attack since the start of the war. We have a few options for how we can begin to search for this in IODA. What we're going to do is, since we know that this attack happened on a network, and we know the network name, let's search for Triolin in the search bar. So here we see Triolin pop up, and it also has the specific AS number. And you could do a web search if you wanted to know the AS number of a specific network, or if you wanted to know the network name associated with an AS. But this is the one that we're looking for. We're also going to set a custom range, since right now we're still looking at the past 24 hours. So we want to go back to that time in March when we know the DDoS attack happened. And we're going to look at a few days before so we can see normal traffic pattern, and then maybe the whole second week in March, just to try and get a good view. And then we hit apply. So now that we've set the date range and hit apply, IODA provides us with this time series view of the DDoS attack on Triolin. So we can see a significant and immediate drop in active probing. In the days before, active probing fluctuates between like 97% and 81%. Part of this change in active probing does have to do with the fact that Ukraine was under missile attacks and people were leaving the country, so they might have been turning off machines on this network. But this massive drop here, we know from other reports reporting a DDoS attack at the same time, that this drop is due to the DDoS attack on Triolin. So we can see that this drop off begins Wednesday, March 9th at 2040 UTC. And we can see that it's a slow and long recovery that lasts several days. Because of the nature by which this operator went offline, we do not see a matching dip in BGP. We do see the telescope signal range lower during this time frame when active probing is disrupted. So usually the orange telescope signal is hovering in a range higher than after this significant DDoS attack. So this just goes to show that when you're looking for an outage, it is a good idea to look for two simultaneous drops, like two signals demonstrating a simultaneous drop, but you may not see a drop happen in all three signals. We at the IODA team at Georgia Tech, we like to see two signals drop. Sometimes it could be just one signal, but we would want to have an external source corroborate that. So let's adjust the time frame so that we can see when Triolin makes a recovery. So let's go from the 6th all the way to the 19th. So here we can see the recovery begins around March 16th at 16:30. this at this point, it starts to kind of plateau or level out. And remember that the country was under heavy artillery attack and working under the constraints of curfews. So this also affects the active probing signal. So this concludes our IODA example from the Russia-Ukraine war. Next, we will look at the daily shutdowns or digital curfews in Iran that began with the protest in September 2022.